Many people felt that when Abhishek Bachchan is no filter, he is really very entertaining.
I've never looked down upon them. When you look down upon them, you get an attitude that, what does that person know?
So the idea is, what I feel is that why do you have to interact with such people?
If there's something, if you don't like something about me, I want to know why, and I want to try and change your mind.
Why would you want to maybe just respond to someone on the same question again and again?
When Anurag was unhappy with my work in Yuva. Hello everyone, I'm Abhishek Bachchan and you are watching Bollywood Hungama.
Alright, on huge popular demand, we have with us Abhishek Bachchan back on Bollywood Hungama. Our pleasure having you back first of all.
Thank you, Faridoon. It's always fun to be back.
Thank you very much. And in fact, the last interview that we had with you guys and the way you roasted Anurag Kashyap, today it's his birthday, was something that many people felt that when Abhishek Bachchan is no filter, he is really very entertaining. And Taapsee has this complaint that you have these guards at times. Why do you have those guards in the first place?
I don't think they're guards. I call it good manners.
Okay.
Yes, I think it is very refreshing when you can say exactly as your heart pleases, but I think you should also understand who you're saying it to, why you're saying it, right, in which way you're saying it, because you should never end up hurting anybody's sentiments. Right. With Anurag that day, that's the way we interact with each other. And these are things that we've discussed before and we joke about. So that, I would never want to say or do anything that'll upset anybody. Right. So I'm careful of that.
Okay. And how do you react to, in fact, you mentioned as well that last you guys worked in Yuva and after that you're working now.
Yeah.
So when any film comes and then, with the good comes the gossip as well and all those reports are coming in that what happened in Yuva and this. Yeah. So how do you deal with something like that?
What's actually happened interestingly, Faridoon, in my career and my life.
So he has been critical of you in the past.
Yes.
And quite vocally.
Yes.
But that was a phase that when he was critical of everyone.
And the thing is, it was not an issue with me. I never reacted to it. It was brought to my notice that he had expressed displeasure and disappointment. I was fine with it. I have a slightly different way of approaching these things. And that is that if even one person has got something negative to say, I want to understand why. Also because it's a matter of, it's a bit of a weird concept, but be it a film critic, be it a colleague, be it a director, be it your audience, I've always looked up to them. I've never looked down upon them. When you look down upon them, you get an attitude that, what does that person know? I'm the actor, I know what I'm talking about. Who's going to teach me how to act? I've never had that attitude. I've always looked up to them.
Democratic in that.
No, I've looked up in the sense that, no, these people, audience first and foremost. I work for these people. They buy a ticket, I owe them their money's worth. So anybody who's had anything to say, my attitude is to listen to them first and give them a hearing and say, okay, if they're saying something, there's a reason they're saying it. How can you change their mind? So that's been my approach. When Anurag was unhappy with my work in Yuva, and then some other stuff also, I didn't read any of that, but I believe in Yuva. Today when I review it, and today when I know Anurag, I realize how he said it. I realize that he was correct. I could have done a much better job. And that was Anurag's way of saying, you need to push yourself. Don't settle. Push yourself. There's so much more in you. It's actually come from a place of concern and love. So today I understand that. And at that point everybody made up there's this big fight and all. There never was. Because I never reacted to it. And I remember many years later, he had come home for Diwali and he said, look, I want to talk to you. I said, yeah, sure. I sat down and he just said, look, this, and we discussed it. It was perfectly fine. And actually, when I was offered Manmarziyaan, I'd heard the script. Anand had brought the script to me. Kanika narrated the script. I didn't know who the director was. But the minute, I think it was in their mind that, there might be an issue. So they actually told me last. And the minute they told me Anurag, within 15 seconds, I said, I'm doing the film. Because he's a director I have immense respect for as a director. At that point of time, there was no issue between the two of us. We had sorted that out. And I was looking forward to working with him because I knew he'd challenge me. So it really was no issue.
Okay, now, You said that you're bothered about the fact that even one person, if they have a certain issues with any of your work, you would like to know their point of view. You know, I strongly believe that maybe it's not what you should be doing. I'm the last person to tell anyone that आप ये करिए या वो करिए, and I'll give you why I say that. You know, because the fact is you tend to be way too democratic in terms of the way you interact with trolls at times. Because you know, when it comes to social media, I think no one will know better than you. You never know which space it is coming from. You never know whether they're like paid trolls for that matter, whether they're coming from someone from within the industry for that matter, who has certain access to grind. So the idea is, what I feel is that why do you have to interact with such people? Because you will never be, the moment you start interacting with them, they'll come up with 10 more justification, and they're feeling a sense of importance that Abhishek Bachchan is talking to us.
So that's a very interesting observation. First of all, I don't buy much into conspiracy theories because they take up too much time. I answer to these so-called trolls, if that's what you want to call them, when I have some spare time on hand. It's not that I do it every day, it's not that I answer to all of them. It's once in a while. Even then, the intention is not to give a smart answer back. The intention for me is to change their mind. And in all fairness to all of them, okay, the majority of them, barring maybe one or two, I've managed to change their mind. Anybody that I've had an interaction with of a slightly more negative nature on Twitter, the majority of them have either ended up retracting what they said or changing their mind. That's the intention. So the intention isn't to take on a troll, it's to convert them into a fan. That again comes from the fact that if you don't like something about me, I want to know why, and I want to try and change your mind. That's where it comes from. But I don't spend all day just answering them. Once in a while, if I do stumble upon something and I feel I want to respond to it, then I do. If their response to that is just going to be abuse or further just trying to be rude, then you know that what their intentions are, so you just stop the conversation. But I'm very happy to take a conversation forward and try and win you over.
Okay, so I'll just give you a specific thing that I was talking about. So for example, this entire nepotism debate, it's been going on for a really long time as far as you're concerned.
Sure.
Why would you want to maybe just respond to someone on the same question again and again? Because, you know, I personally feel that you're not answerable to almost anyone other than your maybe producers for that matter.
I've not really answered many, and you know, very honestly, I've shockingly, I've not really been dragged into this whole debate. So it depends on each individual's point of view. If you're asking me my point of view on whether being a kid from the industry is beneficial to you, I'll give you the answer right now. Absolutely. And I know every kid from the industry who's experienced that is immensely thankful, respectful, and mindful of that, because they know what it takes. But I'll never forget, Faridoon, something that Yash Uncle told me at the great Mr. Yash Chopra told me at the premiere of Refugee, which was my first film.
Gee.
He was one of the first people I met. He was standing there. I went, I touched his feet, I took his blessings. And I mean, I've been born in front of him. I've grown up playing in his lap, literally. And he gave me a hug and he said, "Beta, your father has brought you till this show. From your second show tomorrow, it has to be you. Because if you're not good, nobody's going to come. Exactly. And it doesn't matter whose son you are or whose daughter you are at that point of time." It's a business, Faridoon. We have to understand that. Do people that are from within the industry get an easy entrance into it? Yes, they do. That's just the way it is. That's the way it is in every field. You should never disrespect that, because there is somebody trying very hard to get something that you have got very easily. You must be respectful of that. You must be even more respectful of that other person who's working twice as hard. But at the end of the day, once you get that initial job, after that, it has to be you. And anybody who's part of this film industry, anybody who's ever made a film knows that no other power on earth can influence you getting another job apart from your talent and hard work and your box office result. It's as simple as that. If you keep that in mind, it answers a lot of questions for you. I have nothing but love and respect for anybody, whether they're from the film industry or from outside, who wants to be an actor, because it's one of the most difficult things to do on earth. To stand in front of that camera and perform is very demanding. You have to respect that. Hello everyone, I'm Abhishek Bachchan and you are watching Bollywood Hungama.